up, we have a familiar face to CAD Center, Mr. P.M.Ravikumar. He is a former board member of Dassault Systèmes India and head of SOLIDWORKS India. With over 34 years of experience in the CAD CAM CAE field, Mr. Ravi Kumar started his career with CAD Center and later worked with Dassault, an engineering consulting company. He then took over as a technical manager for Hope Technologies Limited. In his initial years as a technical consultant, Mr. Ravi Kumar was involved in testing and integration of 3D CAD with data management applications before moving to the role of a business consultant. In 2005, he joined SolidWorks Corporation as channel head for India to set up channel network and manage the Indian business operations. Mr. Ravi Kumar was instrumental in restructuring SolidWorks from a two-tier business to single-tier in India. In 2007, he moved to a strategic role to focus on and establish SolidWorks in academics. And in 2010, he was made the head of Academia for Asia Pacific. In 2013, he assumed the role of sales director for Dassault Systems and was instrumental in expanding SolidWorks in India. Under his leadership, SolidWorks had grown at a CAGR of 20% in the last decade. His expertise lies in the areas of leadership, channel management, pre-sales, business development, team management, and solution selling. It is my honor to welcome Mr. P.M.Ravikumar to address the gathering on future-ready design talent, India's key to innovation, and how CAD Center can help build engineering designers for the world stage. Welcome, sir.
Good morning. Come on, guys. Good morning. Thank you. Okay. Before I actually go into this particular topic, I mean, I never thought I'll have a salesperson before me. I thought I was the only salesperson when I looked at the agenda. It was surprising, and the way he spoke numbers, I thought I'll be the only guy talking numbers during my talk with all of you. But it was so surprising, and he literally had his numbers in and out. Okay, so that is what I'm going to touch upon. Okay, so we'll kind of make it a little interesting also. So first, I thought about, Ritvik talked about me introducing. So I thought, how do I introduce myself? Okay, what is that? I just put up a picture of it. Okay, and obviously I also want to tell you, I'm a product of CAD Center, and I really need to tell you, I've learned a lot during my CAD Center days, which helped me in the next, close to 32 years of my career. I mean, I need to tell this, and I got delayed joining CAD Center because of Pata. They told me the manager corporate planning is out traveling, so he introduced, you cannot join. Okay, and once Pata came back, and I need to tell you how he introduced me. He just called me, he just put the newspaper in front of me and said, can you read this? And there was a news one. And I read it. Obviously, he was looking for my communication, I understand that, and because that was very important, because you were joining as an instructor. Okay? And I said BIZ. I mean, I didn't know, it was mainly, I read it as BIZ. Okay. And then after that, Pata told me, you should read this way. That's how the whole thing happened, and I joined CAD Center in 1990, and I had that time the learning was phenomenal. I know that time, Pata used to bring a lot of products. Okay, CAD was new. Suddenly he brought a product called CAD Overlay. Then he only used to work on those products, new products. Then he brought Scanner. Okay, he used to work. So we used to all be very, very enthusiastic to learn. So I know my entry time into the office, because I used to start the 7 a.m. batch. So I'll be in office at 6:30. But my leaving time was never known, because probably I was sitting till 10 o'clock because trying to learn new technology. And really that helped me. I mean, and information the way today you have on the internet, the time it was not available. You have to go through. Okay, so that's all. So I thought, how do I introduce myself? SolidWorks. That's my identity. SolidWorks. I am the first employee of SolidWorks in India, and I spent 20 years of my life building this brand, and I know to build a brand what it takes. Okay, so 20 years dedicated to this brand to build it. When I took over this brand, just before that, I mean, Autodesk guys knew that I'm going to get an offer from SolidWorks. So they immediately contacted me and said, no, now you join. Because earlier they had a policy, they will not take you from the distributor. I was in the Autodesk distributor. And I said, guys, you're late. And so then they said, oh, we will beat you out in the market. I said, that we will see in the market. And I don't think I need to say anything about SolidWorks. I hope all of you know SolidWorks, right? Yeah, so I think, you guys are the CADD pioneers, so I'm sure you know. So, and I need to say that I did not build it alone. See, it is always, you always need to have a critic, a colleague with you who helps you do things, right? And incidentally, it so happened that guy, his name also was Ravi Kumar, and he passed away a few years back, and he was my technical colleague, and that's how we built this brand, okay? And last decade, I took early retirement, moved out of SolidWorks, because I thought it was time for the younger generation to take over, because you're talking cloud technology and other things, so being an older guy. But still, when we moved, transforming to the cloud, I spent 2 years for the team to do it. I had only one mantra with my team or with my channel. Enable them so well. This is my leadership mantra. Enable them so well that they can leave you and join another company. Or they can challenge your position or your leadership position. Second, treat them so well so that they don't leave you. Attrition is the biggest problem we all have. And I can tell you, last 14 years in my SolidWorks, none of the guys left me. Okay, so that's how you build. Because to build a brand, to build something, you need a team. And if you need to have a team, if you have a team which is consistent with you, it is easy to build it. Okay. And at that time when I started building SolidWorks, I thought, where do I go? Where do I go to build SolidWorks? The first thing. Okay. And obviously I ended up at the doors of CADD Center. Okay, but for me to convince an American company to, go to CADD Center, it took some time. Not that they were not listening. Americans generally listen to you. Okay, and then this is what I did. Okay, so this is, I joined, took around, you can see Papa now and then. Took 8 months to convince the team and everyone. And then took it. I just shifted from Bangalore to this, so I digged out the picture, Pata. And that time, it was not digital, so I had to have the physical photograph, take a picture, and then put it down. And so this was on the person on the right is John McLeany, the CEO of SolidWorks. Okay, and then we had Pata signing the thing, and this is the day it all started for me to build a brand. So I reached out to a brand which was approximately 15 years old at that time, and it was a famous brand. And that's how you build a brand. So I used a brand to build my brand. So you guys need to understand you are a brand which is, I'm talking about 15 years back, I used you guys. It's almost 36 years, right, Pata? 37th year. So, the way everyone talks, like Pata, me, and Ritvik went for a meeting to a company, and everyone said, whoever came for me, oh, when I passed through during my college days, there was a CADD Center board. So that's how it is. So the brand that you guys have built is phenomenal, enormous. Make use of it. Okay. The examples that he gave on sales. Okay, I need to tell you one more. Exactly he told. I was just telling Pata earlier when you used to go to a company gate, the first thing you will check I don't know whether or not, who all have come to that company, which are the salesmen who have come, from which companies. The reason is, if you have come for something, there is some opportunity there. Yeah, Partha still does it. So that's how that time it was. You look at it and you say, oh, this guy has come. Okay, if competition has come, I know, oh, okay, there's an opportunity. How do I hit them? Okay. So when it comes to sales, there is no shame. Okay, absolutely, that's what he told. There is no shame. Let's be clear. And I always believe salesman's job is the best job. I mean, no other job is better than a salesman's job, because the kind of people you meet, the kind of situations you are in is something you feel you need to solve it, and your creativity keeps going. That's how things move. Okay. So one of the incidents on sales, I just want to tell you one of the incidents. This was early when we were establishing SolidWorks, okay, 2006. And we wanted to break into a large company. So we chose a company, okay? And when we chose, the company was using Inventor, okay? And we are not talking SWAP in 2008, it was large, more than 50 licenses of SWAP, okay? So we spent 6 months working on it, doing things. I bring my VP, he comes in, he meets, I walk it out, he says, this deal will not happen. I mean, he says, because there are too many issues. I said, fine. So then we started digging into the problems and fixing it. And one fine day, finally, our year-end closes on December 31st. It was December 30th. We were in this company. The company name is LG Equipments, based out of Coimbatore. And Mr. Jay Bhardaraj is the CEO and MD of the company, or the group, complete group. So he said he has full-day meetings. There is only one slot, 8:15. So we were there, me along with my partner. I hope SolidWorks sells only through partners. Okay, we, just like your packages, we only sell through partners. We do not sell directly. And it is easy to sell directly because you can go and do it. But to make someone sell for you is the most toughest thing. And I understand Partha and Ritvik's role of convincing you to sell is not an easy job. So we walk in, we sit down, we have a meeting half an hour, and then he says, okay, we go through everything that he wants, and he says, files everything, and then he says, okay, fine, I'll talk to you next week. For me, the year is ending, next day, and I need to leave. I said, no, we'll wait. He said, no, I have a busy day. I don't think I can meet. He said, fine. You won't believe, we sat in the reception from the morning. He was busy. 1 o'clock something, he comes out, he sees the city, he calls the guy and says, hey, can you guys take them to the lunch for the canteen? So we went, it's a factory, have lunch, come back, sit down again. 3:30 he comes out and he says, okay, I have 15 minutes. And then he puts a lot of other questions. So when I'm stuck in a situation, I don't have answers, I have this habit of, I immediately move the board. Okay? And I start writing whatever he asks, whatever then I keep thinking at the back, how do I solve it? And then I kind of. So we solved everything. Everything was done. He accepted everything. He said, we have a SAP system or a ERP, and the purchase order will get released next week. I want the purchase order today. I said, I said, Jay, can't we release the PO? He said, oh, it was around 1.8 crore. It's such a value. And one thing I told him, which actually hit his ego, I said, I know you have signed 10 crore deals in a minute or in a few seconds. So what is this? This is much smaller. So it immediately hit him. Okay? And then he said, wait, he got the PO ready, signed at 6:30. I called my boss and said, I have the deal in the hand. You know what he said? Good, you proved me wrong. So what I'm saying is patience, sitting down. See, sales guy needs the biggest patience. Sit down with a customer and see to that you get a clear. I know a few of you here, okay, there are some oldies who had lot of innovative ways of going to the market, okay, training. Few of you whom I know. Okay, so let me quickly run through two things. Another thing also I want to tell you, SolidWorks, the channel that I created with my team, is a very unique channel. Okay? This channel does not sell anything else. It only sells SolidWorks. Exclusive. So I don't think you have any OEM who have such a channel, okay? Or 90 to 95% of the business is totally dependent on SolidWorks. And only 5% of that company revenue might be coming from associated products. It can be 3D printing, it can be some other products which are not available with SolidWorks. So to create a channel and to make them only focus on your product, we always wanted that way because we didn't want to lose focus on and move into other products. And that's what probably CAD Center is doing. And then obviously since you have multiple ways, they kept moving it up. Okay. So let me now again talk about the market. We talked about the market side. So let me ask you a simple question. What do you think will be the India CAD market size or the PLM market? India. You can say last year or the previous year. Anyone? 20 million. That's too high. Just to give you an indication, worldwide it's approximately 78 billion last year. Software. I'm only talking about design software. PLM. I'm not talking AEC or pure PLM market. India. 7. Okay, no. It's 1.05 billion. Okay, so that's the thing. And this data is not my data. These data are from SIM data. So I hope you will agree to the number. That's the market size. And it is expected to grow at around 11.5% year-on-year. So the reason of me touching upon the market is look at the opportunity that you have. Find out. And I'm talking only PLM. AEC will be 3 sides of this market because it's infrastructure. Okay, it will be 3 sides of it. And then the other thing. So easily, we are talking about close to 10 billion market size that you have. Softwares we are talking. And then we are talking about 10 billion. Look at the way you can expand it in terms of number of people who will get trained how to go. So that's the first thing. And this market is expected to grow at around 12%, 11.5%. And the automotive out of the PLM space, 40% is from automotive. Okay, so and it's actually, and that will be the EV booming. It is becoming more and more. Aerospace is doing extremely well. As you know, we have so many startups coming in that area and defense. And the key factors, if you look, what are driving? One is digital transformation. I can take an example of a company here. You all know Mahindra, right? They've been coming out with so many products. And today, to be in a market, it's not like earlier, you release an ambassador, another 5 years, you continue with the same ambassador. It doesn't work that way. Today, a company has to release at least 8 to 10 models minimum in a year for them to survive. They have to address a very large segment. Okay, so that is one. Now, cloud-based PLM. So that is what the first and two. Okay, digital transformation cloud. That's what Mahindra did. Mahindra gave a deal to Dassault to set up a cloud. They call the project as Vahan. Okay, for all their suppliers. Okay, be it anything to be available on cloud anytime, so it's quick, easy to make decisions, buy, sell, whatever they want. So that's what they are doing, and it's a project which is going live. And obviously, one of the important things we need is regulatory compliance, make things easy, and obviously collaborative implementation. These are the things which are, driving the thing. Now, this is what I told you. If you look at it, is approximately 76 billion in the world market, software and something, and expected to grow to approximately 120, close to 115, 116 billion by 2028. So, I always hear this saying that there's a decrease in students joining engineering. Yeah, I understand. But please understand, when I or Pata studied probably 35 to 40 years back, it was only engineers or doctors. Today, the opportunity, that's why you have your Greenzo, Livewire, so many other brands coming up, is because the opportunities are huge. So today people are not just looking at engineering. Might take is another 10 years, probably an engineering degree, whether it will be there or not, or it will be there for namesake. People will choose organizations like you to improve their competence. I'll touch upon that as we go later. So, little more, one of the key areas I want to talk also about the simulation market. Okay, because this is a market which is growing beyond. If you look at the P.M. is growing at around 11.5 is what we're talking. This is the growth that we are expecting in India. India's simulation market rate is growing, and I've tried to put it in terms of the physics, which is FEACFD, okay, electronic simulation. If you look here, the electronic simulation, okay, this is where we talk about embedded and other things we are talking about. Electronic simulation is expected to grow at around 28%. Okay, and if you look at the EMAT, so that's where the growth. So I hope it's giving you the idea of where you should go, where you should focus. That's the idea of numbers. Okay? And then on the right is whether it's a medium enterprise or a small enterprise, or it's going to grow. If you look at the small enterprise, because they have not been using simulation, but recently they have started using. So you expect it to grow at a very, very fast rate at around 30%. The next one is a similar thing, but I've split it into segment wise. Here again, if you look at it just from an industry perspective, the electrical and electronics grows at 31%, oil and gas grows at 30%. And M&O, which is a new thing which is happening a lot in India, maintenance and this is at 29%. So this market is going to grow at a phenomenal rate. So simulation is one area I think we need to have a special attention in terms of training, because the skill levels here are very. So here, as we got to tell you, we are not talking about skill. What I mean is tool. I think you guys have mastered the tool. So we'll talk about it later, what I mean by step. Okay, now these are the trends which are happening in the simulation market. What are these? Virtual twin revolution. And, I think so Vishal talked about digital twins. In Dassault Systems, we don't use digital twins, we use virtual twins, because for us, digital twins mean only physical. But when it comes to, we call it virtual because we're talking about the evolution also. So that's why we use the term, they use the term, virtual twin. So these are the areas. Multiphysics has become a critical aspect today in any product. It is not about doing one particular analysis. Using, multiphysics and testing a lot of other things. It can be CFD along with FEA, everything together. Okay? And the last one is something I want you to look at is the cloud-based platforms. Okay? See, because what cloud-based platforms is doing is you don't need a great machine to do simulation, because everything is done on the cloud. Okay? Today, for you to do a simulation or an analysis of a particular part or a particular assembly, it takes hours. Probably sometimes it takes days, even with the high-speed machines that you have. With a cloud-based platform, for those to buy those machines, it's going to cost you a lot. With cloud-based, you don't have the cloud, okay? Because you don't bother the machine, because everything is going to happen on the cloud. So that is becoming very, very common. Okay? So now, just to give you how the manufacturing is happening, I want you to look at the right side or here. That's the main thing I want to highlight. How the utilization of capacity is happening in the manufacturing. We're talking about almost 75%. That means they're almost running at full capacity. So that shows how the market is growing. Okay? For you, if something in the PLM space is growing at this pace, if manufacturing is capacity is being used at 70%, that means more products get produced. When you say more products, more design means more people required means. So I hope you understand the cycle. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, and the next one. So this is very interesting. Okay, in my last 15 years, this is one thing I can look at every month. Okay, this is called India Manufacturing PMI. Based on this, our business used to say, if the PMI is good, our business will be good. But how the PMI gets released on the 9th of the next month or the previous month. Okay, and based on trends, obviously there. So if you anything which goes below 45 on the points, so points is an index to the points. If it is below 45, that means technically it is recession. Okay, you are hitting recession. If you look at it has been always for the last so many years, I have read or this is 2 years later, but I can tell you, other than 2020 and 21, it has always been above 50. Even if you look at what most point I've taken is at approximately 55. And last month, it hit the highest in the last 17 and a half years, which is approximately at 59.3. Okay, so that's the kind of, and what is PMI? Anyone knows? PMI? What is the form of PMI? So that's what I told you. M has nothing to do with, actually P stands for Purchase Manager Index. How much they buy, right? It's based on that business stuff, which index is generated. Okay, all the manufacturing, all the purchase managers, they send the data and that the data gets created, and that's how this index is made. So we are purchasing something we want. Things are good with that. No, that's good. And I can tell you, in the last 15 years, if this goes up, my business will go up. Okay, if it's doing well, our business will go. Except now it's not because at that time they come up with crazy offers, so business, goes skyrocketing. So that's all. So, and I will run through a few things fast because I'm running short of time. Okay. These are a few things I think each one of you can understand. This is what today's requirement is. Digitalization, I think everyone talks. I mean, your team also is that. The second is everyone wants all the data in one place, and that's why people have started looking for how does the AI come? See, sometimes people have started using AI like magic. I mean, AI can only work if there is a data. If there is no data, there is no AI. I mean, I'm sure many of you use there is one slide I used one day. I wanted to find out which slide, okay? You guys can prompt which is a slide. I have not used that in any other thing. So, I mean, so you can just if there is no data, what can AI do? If there is a data, then it can do something. And then it gets evolved and be used. But no data is not used. Because I started seeing even a product is something they say it's AI based or so that's all. And process, driven innovation. These are the things which are not right, and these are the things why India is also moving up. Demand is growing. Today, you go on a weekday, 2 weeks back, I was in Bangalore and we went to a small bar on Tuesday. It was Tuesday evening. Because I didn't have space. Tuesday evening. Earlier it was only Friday, Saturday. Right? Tuesday. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying about the bar. I'm talking about the purchase or buying capacity of people. People today have started spending probably 80% of their earnings and 20% probably goes in the other things. So that's right. And that, forces demand. I mean, even if you take a bar, it is not simple. Please understand. If you buy part of a bar, there's a bottle required. For bottle, you're manufacturing. See, please, it all goes up. Everything without manufacturing you can't do. So the core of engineering, mechanical, civil, electrical will always remain. So that's the core of engineering. Okay, all other things, that's what is called the core engineering, these three subjects. All the things are wrong. In Tamil you say Korean, okay, rice is still your core engineering. Everything is an option for that. Okay, whatever you add. You can't have a software without a product, right? If you take a car, if the car is not manufactured, what do you do with the software in the car? You need it, and that's why you do it. That's why you talk about embedded systems. You have more of a problem. Okay? Government is phenomenally supporting. I can tell you, I can tell one of the things is startups. Startups, what's happening? Government has told them 10 years you don't need to create your tax. Over the 10 years, 3 years, you choose which is the 3 years. So, the problem is for the startup rate 5 or 6 years to choose. So that's the kind of initiative we want to know. And obviously, I want to India because of the way our population, skilled manpower, or when I say skilled manpower, I would say skilling is not something we have to work on. I just want to quickly touch upon the hardware startups. Okay, this is the future. Okay, and this is where you need to focus a lot. This is the number of hardware startups. I'm talking about hardware to make a physical product because that's where becomes critical. I'm not looking at something like Swiggy or something like that. Okay, those are, I mean, e-platforms, okay, e-commerce platforms. I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about physical products, which are maybe EV or any other products that we're talking about. We have close to 4,700. This is data as of, I think, July. And look at the kind of funding that is happening. We were not earlier how even Martha and the team started that center. Funding was always a challenge, right? Today it is not. There's no more fund. That time we were only taking a loan and then giving back the loan. It was not easy. But today there's not. And if you look at the kind of funding happening, obviously it becomes the biggest. Okay. Agri is becoming huge. This is what it is. Okay, it's not coming. I also want to tell you one thing just quickly. All the startups, hardware startups, since you keep going to the market, those days you need not buy the software. The software is available free, and it is not this is SOLIDWORKS program, but it is available from almost most of the vendors, whether it is Siemens, whether it is Dassault or any other vendors. But I'm saying it is available free. So when you talk to them, there are people who buy it, it is not required because there are terms and conditions, how much funding they get, all that is there. But I want to tell you it is free, so when you catch up with them, if they are buying, tell them not to buy it because it's available free for a certain period of time till they come to the product. And technically, if you see first year free, second year 70%, third year 50%, but the companies are adjustable. I mean, you say I'm still on the design phase, they will extend it all the time. Okay. So startup is a critical area that you need to look at. So quickly, I'm going to run through a few products. These are all designed in SOLIDWORKS products. I want to name the company or the product. I'm sure I've not put the name of the company. I'm sure the first one, all of you will jump. What's this company? It's a company. I thought everybody knows this company. Okay. So this company is a guys from IIT Chennai. Yeah, IIT Chennai. So started with SOLIDWORKS and then they moved to Bangalore and you know the story. Okay. So these guys did everything. Batteries are self-designed with, these are not Chinese made batteries. Okay. All other 90% of EVs are Chinese made batteries. This is not. Okay. So, and probably the only vehicle that I have not heard of them burning anywhere. Okay. So that is one. Okay. This one. I mean, I'm going to go to different sectors. EV is one. This is a manufacturer. The name is there. You can see it properly. This is AS Group. They do grinding, CNC machines, fully indigenous design and development. Okay. This one, very famous company, Bangalore-based company, fully into CNC, and they give Machino and run. Okay. BMW. Yeah. BMW. So that's a company completely designed, and the way they are expanding is phenomenal. They have set up another new factory. Mr. Ravi there at the team. Okay. This one. I mean, what is different? I mean, this is a EV. This is a product. I mean, you know how delivery guys carry it at the back or they put a box and these guys look at the problem and they want a product for delivery. So keep it inside, pack it, and then deliver it. This company is called Carlos. It's a Bangalore-based company. Okay, so completely designed using SOLIDWORKS. This one, it's a Bangalore-based company, very famous company. Brooks, yeah, it's called Brooks Multiclean. Okay, the product. I actually looked at it and said, do I put this picture? That was a foreigner driving it. Then someone gave me an explanation. No, that's for the foreign market. I said, okay. This one obviously you will not be able to find out. This is a medical device. It's a clinical laboratory device. It's from a company, it's a Kochi-based company, growing phenomenally fast, a company called Agape Diagnostics. Okay. And this one also probably you will not find because we don't do so much on the medical. It's a Mysore-based company. So look at the locations I'm telling you. It's a Mysore-based. So we're talking about tier 1, tier 2 cities. It's a company called Scanray. Okay. Completely indigenously built and designed with that machine. Okay.
LG part, LG has many companies. LG Ultra. So it's LG Ultra, okay? I mean, it looks very simple. It's a pen grinder, okay? You grind your batter, right? You get your batter. You know to what level they go? They go to the level of the heat generated by grinding so that the yeast formation, which is very critical for idlis to be soft and arcing, right? They go to that level of, analyzing and testing and building. That's what I'm talking about. Innovation. Innovation, we're not talking about just building a product and make. Anyone can make that brand, right? On the right side, cooker. Everyone knows. Do you know this cooker costs around 9,000 rupees? Okay, normally a cooker, we all get 1,000, 2,000. So, the kind of innovation which is built into it, that's what it is. This one, I'm sure everyone clearly sees. Atom bomb, okay? So those guys are making this in the market with various guys on the top most. Next one, I'm sure everyone will know. You are going to tell something about it. Okay. So, guys, this is completely different. It's a self-propulsion kind of. It doesn't have an engine. It doesn't have an engine. Each coach is motorized. Why it is done that way? When each coach is motorized, you can accelerate fast, you can de-accelerate, reduce the speed. That's completely design. And you want to know it's you call it Vande Bharat. The name earlier was DAP, which was what Project DAP. That's what it was named. I mean, there's a book by Sudhanshu Mani. I mean, this was designed in Chennai. I hope all of you know. Okay, Mr. Sudhanshu Mani, General Manager of ICM. And you have this book. So he had the second edition, which he put Vande Bharat also, because people didn't know DAP was Vande Bharat. So that's that. Okay. So few products. There are so many other products, but I chose few from different fields. Okay, I'm going to plan. So 3 challenges. The first one is people. That's where you are, right? The biggest challenge is people. And why people? When you come at this, these are the problems. I'm sure, you guys know everything. But how are you going to address each of these? Is what is critical. Okay? And I'm talking, this is workforce. When you use the term workforce, it means they are already working. They are right. The next one, this is the slide I used, MEA. Okay. I got bored of sitting down. I said, okay. But to get something, you need to ask the right question, right? You have to ask the right question. And I didn't do anything. Just gave me this, just wasted. And I read through it, everything. So that's when it comes to engineering student versus industry design. And this is where, guys, you have to change. It's time that we all together change this to make this country become the design hub and the innovation hub. You have to do this. So, these are the things which are done by everyone, which goes through all the process and everything. I want to touch upon a few other things. What is okay. Design. So we need to, why we should become a design and innovation hub. Okay. Fundamentally. The why is always there. So why is this? You had Mr. Vishal talk about GCC, and I totally agree. Actually, he said 2 GCCs open every day or every week, and I can tell you both the GCCs are in my house. I'm telling you, the complete GCCs are moving towards. If I tell you there is a GCC, thousand people sitting in one building, just doing design. I didn't know. When I went, I was shocked that there were 1,000 people in the company. I never thought there were 1,000 people. In a Coimbatore, in a GCC facility, doing design. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. Product development. If we continue to buy a product from outside, it's not going to help us. Okay, you need to develop. To develop, you need to innovate. Startup, very, very critical aspect that is required. Okay, the last one is what I wanted to highlight, probably Pata's dream to change is, I think, our dependence on other countries for the product or the R&D has to alienated, we need to do this. Okay? So, and what is the government doing about it? If you look at, and each one of those, if you take Atal Innovation, or if you take Startup India, Digital India, or Make in India, SolidWorks has collaborated with the government with multiple aspects. So all these initiatives are really making changes. The changes to what level is something, the implementation becomes the challenge, and that's where we need to look at it. Okay. The next thing is increase R&D. I think now private companies have started regulatory policies, and IP is always a challenge in India. Okay, the laws are still fragile, which needs to be done. But I know that the government is working on that. These are the last one. We keep talking, but there are few, like Mr. Vishwanathan took an example of embedded systems where Bosch went and set up a center there. There are things happening where many companies are going and setting up so that they get talented pool. Now, with this, I just want to put what I know cash and for. When I look at it, I look at it from my perspective, and I look at obviously the brand, okay, which I already told you, I use the brand 20 years back to build something. So reach, you guys are across the country, even in the smallest of the cases. Curriculum, when I was discussing with friend Bata, I was surprised that you have a curriculum board who sits down and bring in experts where required and create a curriculum. That is absolutely phenomenal. Certifications, which is all there. You also do placement assistance, and then the competition is very critical. We do a competition, okay, every year. Dassault does it along with our entity. We have last year we had close to 10,000 participants in that. Okay, so students taking part. So it is very critical because that's where you learn, you decide. Many of the students started building product prototypes and coming and showing. Okay. Now here comes the area where you all keep talking about, engineering students reduction. We are not getting home, right? Yes. See, what has happened is over a year, you guys have built a phenomenal ecosystem. I'm talking about the franchises where people know the brand, they walk in, right? How many of your trainings happens walk-ins? What percentage? When I say walk-in or advertising sitting in office, guys, not you weigh the data. Sorry, 90%, yeah. So you're not. So the problem is you're all there and you're doing a phenomenal job, and you've created an ecosystem or the process. It works phenomenally well. So you keep getting, and when the engineering students reduction is happening, the cycle, will have a challenge. So you have to go now, and to go, you have to go where? You have to go to various companies. Okay, there are so many companies. Okay, that's what I just showed. Startup, 4,700. They only need tool expertise. Actually, they don't need the engineering expertise because they're starting a company. When they add people, they will need. But that's what I'm saying. So the first thing what you have to do to go there, competence building. When I say competence, we are not talking about the tool. Tool is, it can be SolidWorks, it can be SolidWorks, it can be PTC, it can be CADD, it can be anything. It's just a tool, guys. Today, can you tell me a product that it can be only designed in SolidWorks, cannot be designed in Inventor? Can you say that? Any product can be designed in any software, right? You might say, hey, mine is faster. That's all okay. But the competence. Tool is just the last thing. For me, tool is just 20% of the whole component. The 80% is building the competence in terms of the engineering. When I say engineering, the product that they are going to work, or the area that they are going to work. That's what it is. And that's where, when I've been talking to Ritvik, because me and Ritvik have started talking a lot, probably we are planning weekly calls to an extent. So we're talking about, so I've been telling him, hey, if it is, let's design a course for machinery. Because SolidWorks maximum market is SPMs, special machine course. So can we do a course? Okay, then Ritvik said, hey, give me 10 points, what are the things should be in that? And yeah, and then we call industry expertise and then build the curriculum. That's what we're talking. And if you're talking competence building, please understand understand you guys need to build your competence to deliver. I understand everyone can't do it, but at least again the 80-20 rules all is good. 20% of you have to start and then you so that's what we're talking about. So I've given it then the automotive aerospace. And then bring in industry experts to collaborate with you when you're creating the curriculums and everything. Okay. Then tool expertise based on industry usage. Okay. So based on what they use, what is their process systems to create a curriculum for those particular folks. That's what we're talking about. Now your focus has been students. I think you need to move to private corporations, private companies, large, be it small or large. And just to give you the perspective, approximately SolidWorks sells every year 5,000 licenses. Approximately. That means, and till 2 years back, okay, or 1 year back, because today most of the licenses are named licenses. 2 years back, we never had named licenses. Okay, because with the cloud coming, it's all becoming named licenses. So 2 years back, was not. So the software will be used 5 times the license numbers. So if you're talking about 5,000 license means in a year, so you're talking about 25,000 workforce inside the company. I'm not talking students. Anyway, that's something you guys are doing a phenomenal job in the corporation. And look at it. And every year, SolidWorks adds approximately 1,000 to 1,200 new customers. Okay, and you won't believe SolidWorks has close to 500 companies using more than 62, 150, 200 licenses, each company. So 400, we're talking about the massive opportunity available. And please don't look at it from a workforce in a perspective of they're ready on the tool, because workforce needs skill enhancement for different roles, different projects. And that's where you guys need to actually work with your corporate. Okay, because I understand you will not have the time to build all those courses. You will work with a corporate team to do it. If you